So a few weeks ago, and I wanted to share this with you, I think this will be of value to you, had this mother come to me and say, Coach Wild, I heard you're great with youth and can really help them. I says, well, I'll do my best, but there's a lot of guys who are good. So explain to me what's going on with your boy. Now, this young man is a very big boy. He's like 150 pounds. He's a 12-year-old. He's probably I'd say 5'4", maybe not quite that tall, 5'3", just a big kid. And she said, we're having a lot of issues at home with this young man. Now, there's a backstory to that, but I don't want to go into that. Nonetheless, he's having issues at home, punching holes in the walls, not being accountable for his decisions. When he gets in trouble, he blames everybody else. Now, does that sound like you and I a little bit? About some of us immature adults who we don't like to take advice from other people. We think we have it figured out. We want to blame everybody else for our own problems and not be accountable. So I can relate to this young man, and as she was talking to me and telling me about this guy and what he was dealing with, I said, okay, keep him out of practice today because I know you wanted to kind of teach him a lesson. And he did not want me to know about this. And I said, I'm going to leverage the fact that he didn't want me to know as an opportunity to teach. So he and I had a discussion about that behavior. And I talked to him about above the line and below the line behavior and how below the line behavior is much easier than above the line. And I asked him, I said, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your wishes? I know you're 12, things are going to change, but right now in your mind's eye, what is it that you want to accomplish? And so he proceeded to tell me what those were. And I said, great. Now, what kind of behavior are you going to have to accomplish those things? Do you think the behavior that you're doing now, blaming other people, not being accountable, not being authentic, is that going to help you or hurt you? He goes, well, it's going to hurt me, and that's below the line. I said, yeah, exactly, it's below the line. Above the line is what? Taking accountability. Stop blaming other people. And I said, is that hard? He goes, yeah, it's really hard, Coach. And I said, what about when you get mad at home and your parents and you want to go punch holes in the wall? How does that feel? Is that above the line or below the line? He goes, that's below the line. And I said, okay, great. So what are you going to do? He goes, I'm not going to do that anymore. I said, okay, I want you to work on that. I want you to try to learn from your experiences, and or we may call them as failures, and learn to fail forward. And I go, do you understand what I'm saying there? And I go, does that make sense? It's okay to fail, but we got to learn from our failures and fail forward, not backwards. See, most adults, I told him, most of us adults like to fail backwards. We like to blame everybody else. I had a gentleman not too long ago, a friend of mine, and he said, I can't say anything without getting out and coming back to me and hurting me. I was like, well, then you're the problem. And he didn't want to hear that. Well, until he overcomes that, he's going to have and take accountability for his own actions. He's going to have a hard time getting through and making some breakthroughs and getting himself back on track and where he wants to go. Well, this young man's 12 years old. He's not in his 40s. So if we can make a difference with a 12-year-old, by the time he's 40, hopefully he doesn't have those problems, especially in today's age. And his mom came up to me yesterday and said, Coach Wild, I want to read something to you. I got an email from one of his teachers today, and I want to read it to you. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. So I sat there and braced myself, and she proceeded to read the email. And in the email, she had said that this young man was in a group, her son, with these other kids who were more defiant and, your troubled kids and who were kind of wayward. And he was sitting down, and the teacher overheard him talking to them about above the line and below the line behavior. Like being on the line is average, below the line, you don't want to be there. Yeah, everybody chooses to be there. That's easy, but very few are above the line. Very few are above the line and a sheepdog. We talked about what that means to be a sheepdog. Sheepdogs leads the sheep. I said, do you want to be a sheepdog? Do you want to lead? He goes, yes. I said, why aren't you leading? He goes, I don't know, Coach. I said, can we work on it? He says, yes, we can work on it. So how can you and I learn from that experience? This young man chose to live it and lead it, live it, learn it, lead it. And he didn't wait to be led. He chose to go lead. And I hope that's an impact in his life, and hopefully will help steer and keep him on the right course. And his mom said to me, I don't know what you said or what you've done, but right now at this moment, he's doing wonderful. We've had a few mishaps, but he's overcome it pretty quickly. That's why I do what I do, not only for youth, but for adults as well, because I love those teaching moments, because I learn a ton from them as well, because it's a great reminder for me not to be the victim, not to be the baby, not to wait for other people to help me become successful, because no one's going to do that for you. You have to go do that. Your success and failures are a direct result of your behavior. Period, end of story. And this young man has chosen to lead and chose to become better. I coach because I have the opportunity to coach with my son. But if I'm going to do that, I'm going to be all in and help everybody else as well. And that, to me, as a coach, is more important than winning games or winning wrestling matches. Because that kid is setting himself up for success for the rest of his life. Isn't that what it's about? Athletics is a means to the end. I hope that you guys learned something from that. I will cherish those moments for the rest of my life, and that's what I'm all about. Hey guys, take care. Have a great rest of the week.